Let's face it, as Nintendo fans, we are often left slightly disappointed and scratching our heads asking why. Where is our Super Mario Galaxy 3? Why isn't Metroid out yet? Bring back the Ice Climber seriously, and what were you thinking of the Virtual Boy? Well, sit back as Sean Capri and Bobby Pauls do just that. That's right, this is If We Ran Nintendo. Now, cue the music, maestro.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of If We Ran Nintendo. We're going to actually title this one, Winning Back the Core Gamers. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined yet again by my very wonderful, loving, awesome friend, Sean Capri. What is up, Sean?
It's me. Nobody can.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of If We Ran Nintendo. We're going to actually title this one, Winning Back the Core Gamers. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined yet again by my very wonderful, loving, awesome friend, Sean Capri. What is up, Sean?
It's me. Nobody can see all the stupid things that I'm doing while you're talking because it flips back and forth, but I'm being all weird with my webcam. It's as if I just got it for the first time. Just so everybody knows, just poured myself a nice cup of coffee for today's talk.
That's good stuff.
Good to be here with you, Bobby.
I'm very happy. This is.
You're not that happy.
No, I am. You notice how the energy kind of goes up once we go live? Like, before the show, we're just like...
No, we weren't. We were like, let's do this. We weren't like, let's go get ourselves some coffee.
Yeah, you were like, how do I get some coffee? I'm tired.
I'm gonna be on the internet burning my tongue on oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Everybody hit pause. Go grab yourself a nice cup of coffee. We're gonna have a chat.
We're gonna have a nice chat today.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice chat.
This is gonna be a fun one.
We got good stuff.
Yes. I want to start the show off like we do every episode where we thank the community. You guys are awesome. Great feedback as always. I love you guys always. Justin Masson, thank you so much for the intro. You are the man. We got something in the works. I don't want to talk about it yet.
Ooh.
Slightly. You know what's going on.
I got to act like, ooh.
Yeah. Our boy Gary.
What's up, Gary?
Yeah, Gary's doing some work for us. He's awesome, and we're just going to leave it at that. I think the ball's in my court now. I have to do something for him to continue, so we're getting there, but we'll get it there.
Squid Pro Row, I think, is what they call it.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Who else?
Reference.
Who else? We've, I want to say too, like, to the Nintendo Guru followers that are joining the YouTube channel, so much I'm going to mess this word up. Interactive. Why can't I say this word right now?
I'm just going to let you stumble through this word that you're looking for. I'm just going to dance over here.
Interaction. That's what I was looking for. So much interaction between, like, you need to go check out, I don't know how much you go on and check out the comments that are being left on the videos of, like, this show. You don't necessarily have to go on to the other videos because that's more directed to me, but a lot of comments coming in, and I love it. I think that, like, we got a nice group of people that really seriously care about the show and are showing a lot of interest into it, and I love them. It's awesome, seriously. So thank you to everybody that is supportive of this. And I mean, it amazes me how quickly this has taken off as comparison to my other podcasts that I've done. That just blows me away every single time. So,
well deserved, buddy.
Well, whatever. It's I'm just happy that people like this and are contributing.
You're acting all cool, whatever.
No, I
but
just,
off camera, you're like, I'm the best.
No way. Right. No. Let's come on. Don't do that. I'm very humbled by everything that's taking place. It means the world to me. So don't be a tool bag like you are.
That's
so
racist.
How's that racist? Whatever. Let's just get it. You know, we're going to move on. That's an Alan Paxton. That's an Alan Paxton moment, and I'm going to move past it. We're not going to fall in. First topic. You ready for this, Sean?
Yeah.
So I basically slipped in there that the title of the show is Winning Back the Hardcore. We got a community question on topic number 2, and topic number 1 kind of fit in with that. So we kind of gelled it all together, and we're going to make it all kind of flow. But topic 1, how would we implement a paid service? And by paid service, we can do a couple of things here. We can either go with PlayStation Now type service, where it's like a rental, like a Netflix type thing, you know, that type of deal. Or we can go PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, where it's kind of like paid service for internet. So I'm going to kind of leave it open a little bit. I know initially when I threw this topic at you, I said like internet, you know, PlayStation Plus, that type of stuff. But I'm thinking, as I started to think more about it, I thought like, what about like a Netflix type deal too? You know what I mean? Like because as Nintendo, we have the greatest library of old school games. And I think everybody loves that factor. And I know immediately what people will say is like, well, I want to own the games. And that's fine. You can continue to buy your games, and nobody's stopping you from doing that. This is just kind of something that we're going to offer people that, you know, are tired of buying the games over and over and over. This is going to be a new system that we're going to put into place and will carry to every console that we do for the remainder of time. So let's kick it off. So what would you do? What would be your go-to in this situation?
Because we are running the company called Nintendo, we have to do something vastly different. It can't just be PlayStation Plus, then Xbox Live Gold, then this. Which, by the way, I think we call Nintendo Power.
I like that. Because it's an homage to the past.
Yep.
Nintendo Power was a paid subscription.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like that. It's a little play on the past, but we're taking it to the future. I like that.
Nintendo Power. Just imagine the headlines. Nintendo Power is back, and it gives you the power. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we talked about this, I think, on your Geekcast, actually. What would we do with Nintendo Power?
Yeah, we did.
I actually think this is the way to bring that back. A lot of that content that came with Nintendo Power was like Nintendo-driven strategy guides and a lot of insight. That's a way to differentiate this paid service from PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold. Make it for the players, not just about, because the thing that we don't really want to do is get into, the beginning of every May you're going to have 6 games from PlayStation, 4 games from Xbox, and then whatever Nintendo is going to have. Got to add something else, and I love building in the idea of kind of combining what PlayStation is doing with PlayStation Now and PS Plus. I think that to me seems like a no-brainer. I don't like as a subscription service streaming games. I think we definitely do that.
I want to take it a step further because I kind of liked where you went with the Nintendo Power thing. So we won't worry about price at this moment. We'll get into that in a minute. But you join Nintendo Power, and you'll also get exclusive content via videos or articles, things of that nature. So we could do also a digital magazine that we're also supplying to subscribers. So, and what I mean by that is like you get a behind the scenes look at the new Zelda U. And you get to talk to the Zelda team. Not you don't get to talk to them, but the Zelda team will talk to you and say, hey, we're doing this and we're doing that and so on and so forth. So you
get a special Nintendo Directs too.
That's because this is exactly where I'm going to go with this.
Yep.
I am part of a Facebook group. It's called the Steam World Ambassador Group. And I won a contest from Image and Form. And we get behind-the-scenes content as it's coming out. Like, we knew what system it was going to hit first.
Mm-hmm.
We knew what day it was going to hit first. We'll get like sneak peek of trailers before the public gets it. We'll get all these little things. And they do a show called The Engine Room. I don't know if you ever watched it or not, but I encourage everybody to go watch it. We get that first. The day before it goes live, they drop it into the Facebook group and they're like, hey guys, check this out. You know, it's going to go live tomorrow. So we get all this like exclusive content, and I would like to give that to our Nintendo people because I think it's a great idea, you know?
Treat it like Amiibo, where you have certain unlocks in different games even, or even in your home screen.
Yeah.
I heard somebody talk about having the home screen as kind of like an Animal Crossing or Tomodachi Life or something like that. Almost like the Sony Home, but Nintendo, and actually you want to do it. But give your me a place to live, give them some exclusive clothes and things to decorate the home. I think that's another way that we can sort of add value. I mean, this is something that we can grow ridiculously huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is that we don't actually need to make it too crazy big. I think we'll get to price in just a second. But I think that just different enough, if we can harken back to, again, we talked about launching the NX with a video that just rekindles people's love for Nintendo. We really need to play on that with pretty much every strategy moving forward with Nintendo.
I think a lot of why Nintendo, or a lot of what helped Nintendo beat Sega back in the day was those subscribers to Nintendo Power. Like, Nintendo is basically speaking to you subliminally all the time. Like, this game is the best. This is awesome. This is, you know, and Sega just didn't have that. So for me, I feel like we go back to what worked back in the 80s, and you're not going to give them a paper magazine or anything like that because that just doesn't work. And I'm not looking to do like articles and things like that. Like you might want to do like they used to do Iwata Asks and things like that. Like you can give exclusive things like that, you know, but, you know, just little things to entice people to pay, you know, and to get them on board. I also feel like, though, I wonder if we should tier it and do different.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Different thing.
Okay.
Like my example is this. It's like with Netflix, you know, you can get so many users, you can get like physical copies of things, you can get just digital, you can get high def, or you can get regular, and depending upon like what you pay, you get various things. I don't know, because the only thing I'm thinking is I like the idea of the Nintendo Power thing where we give people that are subscribers to Nintendo Power exclusive content. But I also want to be able to offer, and this is where I'm torn. I don't know whether to say we'll give you a game, a classic game a month, or 2 games a month. But I want to do something a little different than what Sony does. Sony, just so people know, with PlayStation Plus, as long as you're a member of PlayStation Plus, you get those free games they're giving you. The minute you disconnect, you lose those games.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that because I want to give value to what we're offering here. And I don't care if someone jumps in and jumps out. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter to me. But the way we're going to tier it is we're going to tier it like either you pay monthly or you pay yearly. We'll give them a discounted price if they pay by the year or if they pay by the month.
Right.
But I want to give them, because I feel like this. One of the biggest issues right now with Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, is essentially the games they're giving you for free. A lot of people are complaining about them. And then the people go like, oh, but they're free. But you don't really own them. They're basically letting you borrow them for an extended period of time. I feel like we don't go to new developers and say, or indie developers and things like that, and say, give us games. We don't want that. We're going to rely solely on our virtual console. And I want to, like, I think we give 1 game a month. You think 1 or 2 games a month?
I think it ends up being more. I'm sort of I don't want to derail you because I'm somewhere else entirely.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to say my thinking is you give them 2 games a month, which are virtual console games that are theirs. That once we announce it, if you are a member between the first of the month and the end of the month, that game is yours. And we just leave it at that. And the thing that we can do is we still have our virtual console for people that don't want to be involved in this, that can go buy whatever game they want to buy at any time. So this way people don't feel like, oh, I have to sign up for that or I don't get to play virtual console games. No, that's not what we're saying. We're just trying to give people value behind what we're doing here. Now you said you're in a different area. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I'm wondering about the subscription service, like PS Now. And rather than giving new games away, I think the real thing that we need to focus on is making it as different as possible. I think it seems almost like a no-brainer to do it that way. I think you need new stuff every month. So I think that Nintendo Power will give you access to go in, select from any of these library of games from all the way back. But every month, we're going to add 5 or 6 new games to the list of games that you can go back. So we'll start out with a launch sort of library, and then every month we'll add to that library. And so we'll have everybody kind of playing the games all at the same time. But again, this is limiting us to old games. This is not really getting new games or new content into people's hands.
So what if we did this instead? To go totally different than what the other guys are doing. Because the other guys are giving you games. Okay, that's fine. That's all good. What if we gave physical rewards?
Yeah.
What if you sign up and this month we have an exclusive amiibo coming out that if you're a member, you get.
Yep.
And that's the only way to get it.
Yep.
Is to be a member of Nintendo Power. What if the month after we're going to put out a T-shirt, and the only way to get that T-shirt is to be a member?
That is what I'm talking about. Yes.
Each month
but you still have to buy it. They're not just going to give away these things, but they're going to be exclusive, time limited. Can you imagine?
Yeah. But I mean, I wonder, because we're also charging a monthly fee. So we have to wonder, we have to ask ourselves, do we just give that away or do we sell it at a discounted price?
I think it's an exclusive opportunity for those subscribers
to get something.
Yeah. And I'm trying to maybe tie it into My Nintendo. Similar kind of thing, maybe even after, and one of the notes that I made before talking about this was what are the rewards for consecutive years? I think that you should be able to build up. That's something that definitely Xbox recognizes it, but they don't do anything with it. But Nintendo would be really great if you hit 5 years, you'd be, or whatever the number is, even after 1 year. Thank you so much, and here's a reward in the form of platinum coins or something. Yeah. But definitely building in that thank you. Nintendo does the soft stuff better than the other two guys. We should definitely lead on that sort of thing. Okay. I think you buy it. I think people will subscribe to a Nintendo Power thing if they know, what, July and August are the times when they do crazy amiibo or they do something that you can never get anywhere else. People go, look at what people do even in Walmart. They're pushing little old ladies out of the way so they can get their freaking Wii Fit trainer and things like that. Yeah. And these Marths and everything.
But I mean, you don't even have to do, and I'm saying amiibo, and I know kind of they try to keep the amiibo to content and things of that nature. So maybe we do the amiibo once a year where we think it out and we go, okay, this game's coming out.
Yes.
And we have an exclusive that's going to tie into that, and that's the only way to get that amiibo is to be a part of this. But hey, we're going to do a statue this month, and it's going to be a little statue or something like that. Or we're going to do a plushie. You can get a Thwomp plushie, different things where we offer these people different things, and it's different ways to get stuff. I like that idea. we have this paid server. It's funny how I in my mind's eye, it was one thing, and now it's starting to divert completely into something else.
But doesn't it feel more Nintendo? It feels like something that they've done, but like taking it online, taking it digital.
Yeah. Because I feel like what's going to happen is so the first month, and I'm just saying hypothetically, if we did the games. So month 1, we put out the games, and we put out Mario Brothers, and we put out month 2, we put out Zelda. Month 3, we put out Punch Out. Month 4, we put out Icarus. Month 5, we put out and the next thing you know, 6 months later, we're giving. Then we have to give them like, I don't know, Ice Climbers, and people are like some people like Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers are garbage. So
it won't take long to start getting people going. That's what we're at with. We're right there now with PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah. Even though new games come out.
So if you did, I'm sorry to cut you off. If you did like the exclusive videos, exclusive content, different things that like only people that are members of Nintendo Power get, and then by the way, we have this cool new shirt coming out this month, and if you want it, $5, something like that. Like it's something we come at a really low price. When the custom amiibo comes out, that's like an exclusive amiibo. We don't charge a $12.99. Charge $5, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like,
you charge $45. Just gouge them.
Get out of here. We're not scalpers.
No, that's true. That's true.
Mason, who went against me. Mason from Amigos, you went against me last week, and I want you to know that the only person that made money off Amiibo was not Nintendo. It was scalpers. That's all.
I think Nintendo made.
No, Nintendo made money.
I think they made it up. So the other thing that I want to bring up while we're on this topic too is DLC. When Nintendo did DLC for Mario Kart 8, it changed everything. At least for the people who were able to experience it, we've got a new level for what we expect from DLC. And to be honest with you, I don't buy any other DLC because it doesn't even come close.
No,
they basically tacked on another 50% of content onto the game for, what did I pay? $15?
Listen, even Mario Golf. I don't know if you played that on the 3DS. I bought the season pass for another $20. And I got like all these different courses and all these different characters, and like it was like I said, almost a brand new game for $20. And I was like,
I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna have to buy that right away. I've got the cart right there. It's not even coming into focus. That's Mario Golf.
Yeah,
it's not working.
It's not working.
Use your imaginations, people.
You need to. I don't know if you got the season pass or if you.
No, I'm gonna have to get it. I didn't even know about that.
Oh my god, there was all kinds of stuff. Okay,
pause the podcast. I'm gonna go do this.
No, get out of here. We're not doing nothing.
DLC. Okay, so that's the thing about this whole thing. If people start to think like, how are you guys gonna do this for whatever the price is? And I'll throw our price out right now, and we can talk about it in just a second. I'll throw $50 a year out. Similar to PlayStation Plus, $10 cheaper than Xbox.
Yeah.
And the way that Nintendo does DLC and the way that they're creating value for a low price, I think is unrivaled. So I don't think it's totally out there to put all of this value into a package like this for $50 a year. What are your thoughts?
I think that for $50 a year, it's fine. I think because ultimately what we wanted them to do is to pay for the internet, to help us pay for the servers and things of that nature. That's ultimately what our game plan is. That's why we're not giving away the items each month, because you don't. Basically, we're going to give it as for cost. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go in the hole with this. The $50 a year is to help. Help.
It pays for servers. It pays for staff. It just runs.
No, but it helps pay for the servers. Helps the internet run smoothly. Gets all that stuff going, because the game plan is with NX. We're coming with a more solidified internet. We're coming with more power. Everything's going to work across the board. It's funny that people, they attack Nintendo, but I don't feel like the Wii U had such bad internet. I really didn't have problems when I played Smash Online. I didn't play a lot of Smash Online, but the couple times I played Smash Online on the Wii U, the 3DS was laggy, but it still worked. But I didn't have any lag issues when I played on the Wii U. Mario Kart was perfect. I never had issues with Mario Kart. Splatoon, spot on. Don't
Yeah,
have
when
issues
when you're
with it.
playing, but the thing that needs work definitely is connecting with friends, finding
Well,
people
yeah.
online, that whole system.
Yeah.
It needs a little work. And
That
party
part
chat, of
does,
course.
but but when you listen to people explain that it doesn't work, it's not that part that you're saying doesn't work. They're basically saying that like there's lag issues. You can't. I hear people talk about it all the time, like, oh, you can't find matches in Smash. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Log in there, click it. You'll have a match in a second. It's nothing like the Wii. The Wii, I would sit there for 5 minutes beating up on a sandbag, and I would never get connected to a match.
You can just hear the sound with the
Yeah.
little dial going around.
Yeah, so
Trying to connect. Yeah.
exactly. All right, so let's recap this.
All right.
So we're going to charge people $50 a year, or
What are
$10
your breakdowns too? Oh, so there it is. Sorry.
Yeah, $50 a year, or $10 a month. However you want to do it. If you just want to go monthly, go monthly. With this $50 a year, we're going to give you, and it's called Nintendo Power. That's the kicker. So you're subscribing to Nintendo Power for $50 a year, or $10 a month. You're going to get exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage via video clips, via little interview articles, things of that nature. Is kind of like Iwata Asks used to do.
Yeah, treehouse content.
Yes, treehouse content that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get like exclusive, like you get to watch the treehouse like demo a brand new game that's coming out. Things of that nature, like all stuff that only is going to be exclusive to being a Nintendo Power subscriber and part of this. The other thing is we're going to give you exclusive content every month, kind of like a Loot Crate per se, almost. Except you're going to buy it. It's going to be, relatively cheap. I'm thinking $5 a month, whatever it is. Yes, it is on top of your fees or whatever you're already paying, but the idea is you have to be a member to get this. So if I'm a member, you're not, and I buy this cool Mother 2 shirt, and you want it,
where did you get that from?
yeah, you can't get it because you're not a subscriber. So we're going to give exclusive things like Amiibo, things of that nature. I like it. I would sign up for Nintendo Power now.
I feel like I can hear somebody screaming. I feel like somebody is like yelling at us right now. Somehow we need to build in third-party support into this. This is, even though it's called Nintendo Power,
I agree.
very Nintendo-centric.
Yeah.
Got to find a way to find partners. Maybe it is indies that we bring on. Something has to.
Indies will work good. Indies will work good. The indie developers would definitely work with you on this. So in terms of like the behind the scenes stuff, we can bring in the indie developers. They get, we do exclusive interviews with them, things of that nature. Hey, there's nothing that says we can't give out a Mega Man statue. There's nothing that says we can't do like a Shovel Knight statue.
Yes, exactly.
Things of that nature. Like I agree. Get involved with the third parties. Yep. Bring them in. Like a lot of stuff that they give away for free. And it's not necessarily free, but like a lot of stuff that they do for like special editions. Like, wasn't the Destiny thing like they had the oh my god, that little robot thing in Destiny.
Oh, the ghost.
The ghost.
Yeah.
Like, they already put the ghost out. But I'm saying, like, things of that nature. Like, you can say, hey, we'll sell you this for $5. It's going to be, we got Destiny coming on board this year, and this is what's going to be. And hype these games. Get people all hyped up about it. So I think it's ideal.
When I tie in, I'll talk about in the next topic, but I definitely have something that, because we're going to talk about something else that I don't want to give away just yet.
And to carry into this too, what you were also stating is we could do DLC. I don't want to do exclusive DLC just to this, but
I agree.
Discounted DLC. So if we offer a season pass, like, okay, let's break it down. So Mario Kart 8 came out, and you could either buy Pack 1, Pack 2 for $7.99 each, or you could buy both packs for $11.99 each. My feeling is that we offer DLC content for $5.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, if this month We don't have anything. Well, I feel like it needs to be an addition because you can't go, hey, this month we're gonna sell you DLC content for $5 because all the people that didn't buy Mario Kart 8 are sitting there going like, well, that's garbage because I didn't buy this thing and now that's all I get. Now I don't want to be part of Nintendo Power no more.
Yeah,
I feel like it needs to be like, here you go, here's an addition, and I'm saying $5, but I think it all has to be priced tier. Like maybe you get like $3 off or $4 off, whatever the DLC price is. Like it could be case by case each month, but you give discounts to things of that nature. And I think I think
that is the thing that I would rip right off of Xbox and PlayStation is you have your regular price and then you've got your price that the subscribers pay, and it's usually like 10 or 25% more or whatever it is. If there's a sale, the sale price is 10%, but the Xbox Live Gold is 25% off. Yeah. I would rip that off, and then also make sure that you're just constantly promoting stuff through sales. Xbox, I'm on their store every week because I want to see what their new Games with Gold deals are. It's not even just about the free games. It's, oh man, actually this one is on both sides, but PlayStation Plus members, I think, and Xbox Gold get Star Wars Battlefront for 50% off right now. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That one might be a bad example. I think people are going to call me out on that one because I think that might be 50% everywhere. But things like that, there's always...
No, yeah, because you go on and you get discounts for being a PlayStation Plus member all the time. Like I talked about it on a video recently. Like I bought Madden 2016 for $17. Yeah. It was $40 in the store anywhere else. And you could buy it online for this price, whatever it was, in the PlayStation store, but being a PlayStation Plus member, I got it for even cheaper, and I got it for $17. So I think that's absolutely the way you go.
I'm glad you mentioned Madden because just last weekend on Xbox, if you're a Gold subscriber, you could play Madden 16 for free for the weekend. So Xbox has been doing that a couple times too. I think they did it with an NBA game. They did it with Sunset Overdrive, I think, for a while too, before that eventually became free with Games with Gold. But like limited time, full access, like you could beat the game, you get all your achievements, or
yeah man,
like,
that's awesome.
Rip that off too. Take awesome. It too. We're doing that too.
Okay, so topic 2.
Yeah, topic 2 is brought to you by my shirt. It's Emerald City Truck Team.
I got a real problem with that shirt.
It's Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
That's not that. Don't say Mario.
It says Sonic.
Yeah, thank you. It's a joke shirt.
It's kind of funny because you don't.
I'm kidding.
Sometimes people don't realize what it is until you really look at it. It's like maybe this is my high school, as if I was in track. And come on, I was in track in high school.
I'm kidding. And that's cool.
It's hot in here. Holy crap!
All right. So the second question comes from our friend Billy Blaze, newly acquired friend.
Billy.
He says to us, "What I would like to hear you talking about is which consumer group Nintendo should focus on to increase their user base and how to do it. I don't think a PlayStation with Nintendo games is going to work. The hardcore fans all bought a Wii U, but there were not enough. The gray-brown first-person shooter and sports games players are satisfied with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The casuals are what made the Wii a huge success and they basically moved on to the mobile devices and probably won't be coming back. Where are the opportunities to grow Nintendo?" So this is where we're at. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with the Wii U, it was a disaster. I think it was 13 million units sold overall, worldwide. It's pretty pathetic when you're looking at what's PlayStation, almost 40 million right now, 30 million. Xbox One, I think, has 15 to 20 million, maybe. But you got to look at that and go, they haven't been around as long as the Wii U. So commercially, the Wii U was a failure overall. Every way you look at it was a failure. It's going to go down as the Dreamcast of our generation. I feel there's a lot of.
It's not going to kill Nintendo, so
no. Oh no, I don't mean that. I just mean it's a failure. But we got to come back strong now. We have to bring it all back. Who are we going after when we build an NX? what's our customer base? Who are we going after?
Okay, so my first thought, and this is what I was alluding to before, this is not going to sound sexy to anybody watching. Maybe it will. Not too long ago, we saw a really great crossover. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. We saw, well, I'll pause for a second. I'll tease it. Sony has partnered with Disney Infinity. They've got an amazing thing going. I think the Toys to Life business, we've only just seen the beginning of this. We've obviously got Lego, we've got Disney Infinity, but with Skylanders, we just saw the crossover where if you bought it on the Wii U, you got a special Donkey Kong, you got a special Bowser. That's actually Nintendo. This is another one of those storied. I'd love to see somebody document this whole thing, but Nintendo actually turned away Skylanders in the very beginning. They didn't think that it was going to be a huge thing. I don't know if there was anything about the fact that it was based on Spyro and that being a Sony property. I'm not sure if that played any part in it. But to me, Nintendo has to rekindle that love. I'm using that word a lot, but there's a lot of missed opportunities that we can go back to. And if they get, if we've got Amiibo, Lego Dimensions, which I'll get to in a second, Disney Infinity, if they own 2 of those out of the 3, that would be incredible. They could get the third one with Lego because we've seen Nintendo have Lego exclusive content.
Yeah.
We've had Lego City Undercover on both the Wii U and on the 3DS. And so I think that, again, this isn't going to sound too exciting for anybody. It's not like having Destiny in your back pocket, or it's not like having Call of Duty exclusive content. But owning the Toys to Life, it seems like it's still a bit nebulous to me. But if they've got, like I said, Amiibo and Lego, that would be, and Skylanders, that would be huge if they could corner that market. You look into a Toys R Us and you see that back corner and it's sections side by side. And if it was all under the umbrella, or a good portion of that was under the umbrella of Nintendo, that recaptures the family aspect of Nintendo, but also the adult portion too, because it's guys like you and I looking right behind you. And in my basement right now, I've got 90, I think, Amiibo stacked on shelves and everything. I'm right into that stuff. And so the market that sort of kind of pushes into a little bit is parents who game as well. And so far too often I hear about parents who play just a little bit, but they want to also have a console for their kids as well. It used to be Nintendo. That used to be a no-brainer. It's now a PlayStation. And games like Ratchet & Clank and the Disney Infinity are checking off those boxes. But it's also kind of maturing kids into games like Call of Duty, probably a little too quickly. So we need that back. And I think that even executives at Sony and Xbox recognize that Nintendo is the one who raised us all to want to play video games all day. So we need that back. We need the parents who are willing to spend money on a console that they can play and that they can give to their kids. And if they own the Toys to Life market, I can't see a more profitable way to get them back to the top.
You're saying, just so I clarify this, you're saying that Nintendo should go and try to buy out Skylanders or like Lego Dimensions and things of that nature.
I think
Skylanders
is possible, but I don't think they would actually buy them out. But I think more. I'm glad you asked, because it's important to clarify. Sony doesn't own Call of Duty. They don't own anything by Activision, but they own the mind space. They own, when people think Call of Duty now, they think PlayStation, Battlefront, all these things. They've aligned themselves so strategically, and it's almost like people, like, it's even as simple as you have a Star Wars Battlefront commercial and a PlayStation logo at the very end, and 9 times out of 10 the casual gamer is just going to go, I guess I can only get that on PlayStation.
Yeah, true. Do
that with Toys to Life, and people think Nintendo toys, that makes sense.
So what you're saying is to lock down exclusive deals.
Yes.
So that way Lego, Disney, Skylanders is only available on Nintendo.
Certain figures, certain editions. I think Disney Infinity is probably too far gone with Sony. I think that's probably one that's out of reach. But really, the movement and that we're going to see is Lego for sure. We're going to see that Lego Dimensions thing just blow up. They've got access to a crazy number of franchises and properties. And then between that and Amiibo and Skylanders, now I'm repeating myself, but I think if you have exclusive content, what if you had a Lego Mario?
I feel like Nintendo, they're dropping the ball with Amiibo, in my opinion.
For the moment, maybe.
I think overall, I think that they didn't have that killer app, and I hate that word, but they didn't have that killer game that just made you need Amiibo.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have all these Amiibo, and they're in shelves. I don't use them. There's a lot of people that have Amiibo that are still packaged, don't use them. Fire Emblem, great usage of it. I loved it. They have occasions where games do great things, but I feel like they should have made a game, a role-playing game, something like that just spoke to you. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like you copy the Lego Dimensions or the Skylander because they're boring. After about 5 minutes, it's like, this is, it's cool for the first couple hours, and then it's just like, oh, this is horrible. I like the fact that, like, it unlocks stuff across different games, and you could still do that, but they should have a game that is Amiibo-centric, I think you try to, because I feel like at this point, they took the world by storm. But you look at, like, it's just not that difficult to get them anymore. And I don't feel like people are that into them as much as they were. Now, that said, I feel like if they put out a Wave 2 or Phase 2 of Smash, and they did all kinds of variant Amiibo, or Final Smash poses, I think Amiibo will come right back full force, and people will go ballistic for them. Mm-hmm. So I think the ones that are really collecting now are the hardcore fans, the ones that are just
like the ones picking up Kirby and Animal Crossing, things like that.
Yeah. They're in it for the long haul. They're not giving up. This is it. It's ingrained in them. But to get back onto topic, I see where you're going. You're in the realm of we got to get them while they're young. We got to scoop them, because there was a time when Nintendo just sucked up all that.
To me, it's a 2-for-1. That's why I go there. It's the kids who like the toys, and it's the grown-ups who don't mind collecting them as well. That's why I want to go after the Toys to Life market.
But I also see, but I feel like the money is in people our age and a little bit younger. They're the ones that have the money. They're the ones that are out of love with Nintendo for the most part. They're the ones you need to bring back. The hardcore, the core gamer, that's where I feel like we need to go after. Because parents don't always have all the money to go, because they're parents and because life happens and they have to go buy little Timmy braces this month, And so they're going to buy braces over Mario Kart 8. It's just going to happen, And I feel like the kids, and when I say kids, I'm saying 25 to 35. That age bracket, maybe a little bit younger, that's where we're going after. That's the market. That's the ones that bring us, that's a demographic that brings us back, I feel. So how do you go get them? How do you get them people to come back to Nintendo? It's a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not just going to flip a switch and everybody comes back. I was saying this to Alan Paxton the other day on the Geekcast when we were talking. I said, I'm in a weird place right now. Because for years, I always had a Nintendo console and I always had a Sony console. Mm-hmm. My Nintendo console was for my Nintendo first-party exclusives and my third-party games. My Sony was just for Sony exclusives that would pop out that caught my eye. You know what I mean? Now I'm reverse. Now I just have my Nintendo for my Nintendo exclusives. I don't buy any third parties there. And I don't buy, and so my Sony is for like my Uncharted and things of that nature, but also third party games, things of that nature. I feel like, one, you need to bring the third parties back. And not I don't need third-party games that are just whatever. I want, if you're going to bring a third-party game to Nintendo, you need to have everything on it that's on all the other consoles. Why does Call of Duty not sell on Nintendo consoles? It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact of the content's not there, the online play is not there, there's no voice chat to really truly work the way you want it to go. So I feel like we need a voice chat, a party chat system. You know, don't feed me this nonsense of, oh, well, you could just use Skype. People aren't going to do that. You could say it till the cows come home. It ain't going to happen. Because anybody that's used party chat, it is amazing. And I can play. It works over multiple games. I don't have to talk to the idiots in-game. I could just talk to my friends. And you could be playing Destiny, and I could be playing Call of Duty, and we could still talk to each other. Now, that's not the ideal thing, and you're not going to do that. But let's just take it another step. I could be playing Minecraft. You could be playing Ratchet and Clank, and me and you can have a conversation and feel like we're hanging out, even though we're not even playing the same game. And that's awesome. You know, and for people that go, oh, I don't need that. That's garbage. You've never experienced it. That's the only way I can put it. Because I was that person that said, voice chat's garbage. I don't want to talk to people when I'm playing games. I just want to play the game, don't want to experience the games. No, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that I can talk to Toby. This is how bad it is. Myself, Toby, Tony, Karina. So that's me. That's the four of us. We're playing Mario Kart, and we were voice chatting over PlayStation Network. That's why. That's horrible to think that you have to do that. So we need to eliminate that. That has to go. So that's phase one. Are you on board with that?
Yeah, I feel I'm playing the part of Billy Blaze. I want to know where you're going. This to me so far seems like we're just catching up, and
yes.
we need to take a segment that either is settled somewhere and we have to be convincing enough to tear them away from that, or identify a new opportunity that hasn't been claimed by the other big two.
Okay, so we do need to catch up. That's phase one. We need to get on par with them. So the other thing I want voice acting in our games. I want Zelda to have voice acting. I want and when I say voice acting, I don't want other M voice acting. I don't want hokey voice acting. You look at what Naughty Dog's doing, and they're knocking it out of the park game after game after game. Why? Because they hire good actors that are actors, and they do it properly. And I don't understand how Nintendo can do it properly in a game like Fire Emblem and then botch it up so bad with a game like Other M. I just don't get it. I don't see how that happens. So I feel like...
It only took them 10 years to do that.
Yeah. And I feel like you have the money. You have the ability. Do it right. Mm-hmm. You know?
So you're banking on quality is what you're saying. You're banking on the Nintendo quality, the Nintendo seal of quality to bring people back. I see.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said before, when you do the trophies, you're going to bring them in that way. You're going to... or not we want to do trophies and things of that nature, trophies achievement, that type of thing. These
Call
are
them
all
stamps. Do the stamps thing. Just make that the whole.
The stamps could be like all they need to do with the stamps is make a list. That's it.
Yes.
Make a list that I can compare my stamps to your stamps, and I can just see like, hey, Sean's got that stamp. How did he get that? And I look and I go, oh man, I got to go do this to go get it, and then I try to go get it. You know,
and then you put it all over your Miiverse or whatever it is. Yes,
exactly. So that to me is where it is. Now, how do we get people to come back? I feel like every person that's left Nintendo has a love for Nintendo. They were in love with Nintendo and they left. Why did they leave? They left because the other companies were offering them mature games. Now, I'm not looking for an adult-oriented Mario game, but I might take a couple of games to the next level, per se. I might take a Metroid game and turn it, I feel like Nintendo has the opportunity to take a Metroid game and make that a Destiny/Halo type game, where that becomes your multiplayer game, where you don't necessarily have to bring in, because you can go anywhere and get Call of Duty, you can go anywhere and get Destiny. But you can't go anywhere to get Halo. You can only go to Xbox to get Halo. So you want to create something, I feel like that'll bring people to Nintendo, because they're going to go, oh my god, that new Metroid Prime Hunters or whatever it is amazing. Like, I have, give them a full-on first-person shooter type experience game that's Metroid, and then throw in this Splatoon-ish type thing, obviously not with paint or anything like that, but like a first-person shooter type game, a shooter online multiplayer game. I feel like that's where, I feel like Star Fox should have had an online multiplayer game.
Oh my god, no kidding.
Like dogfighting and stuff in space. Like, that's where they need to look at it and go, that's where a lot of these 25 to 35 age kids are right now. They're playing online with each other.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, I think that there are buckets that need to be, like, you're still kind of, like...
I'm still kind of, like...
General.
Yeah.
Like, there are, like, where is Nintendo with competitive gaming? Even esports is general, but it's a niche thing. Like, there are buckets that Nintendo needs to own, and that's why I went with Toys to Life. That's an easy one to own. But things that are up and coming, like the hero-based shooters, these things like Paragon and Battleborn and Overwatch, things like that, they're too late. They're not going to be there to own these Destinies and the Division, these massively multiplayer games. They're not going to own that space either. As Billy mentioned, sports, probably not on Nintendo. First-person shooters, probably not on Nintendo. Like, it's almost like what genre is around. Not necessarily genre in terms of like what style of game, but just what bucket, what types of games can
I feel like with Nintendo games,
it's like creating things. I think it's too bad that Microsoft bought out Minecraft, because that to me is a really easy fit for Nintendo as well. But again, kind of with the kids, but more on the whole just freestyle of game, the randomly generated things like that. That's an area that Nintendo could own as well. Things like Terraria and SteamWorld, Dig,
I mean, they had a chance
like
to buy. Here's an example. They had a chance to buy Little Big Planet, and they turned it down, and Sony grabbed it.
Yeah.
So that's another
create,
example.
Play, and share space. That's something they could own as well.
I also feel like, why not go to Activision? You would think that as Nintendo, there has to be companies coming to them and going, we have this idea for a game or something. Maybe they need to, what the answer is, we create a group that oversees that stuff and buys up that stuff and goes, yes, you're going to be on our because again, Skylanders should have been a Nintendo property.
Yeah.
Little Big Planet should have been a Nintendo property. Something tells me that Minecraft could have, well, we know that Minecraft could have been bought out, so you grab them. I feel like they need to also start looking at, seriously, buying up some third parties and getting them on board. And what I mean by that is to increase the amount of games that you're producing as a company. But I feel like, too, not to work on Nintendo properties, to own those franchises, per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, not that I don't think that, and I'm just throwing this out there as a question, but like a Ubisoft. Like, if you bought a Ubisoft up, and then by buying Ubisoft up, now you own all those different developers, all those development teams that are within you, and you own all those IPs. Now, Ubisoft is way too big. I don't know. I mean, I probably think
huge.
But
again, you don't have to buy the entire company, but you can still align with them. You just have strategic marketing partnerships.
Yeah.
Some sort of deal that they're getting, whatever. Okay, so while we're talking here, I brought up a list that not our friend, but I wish she was, Emily Rogers, put up a post Did you see this? The 10 questions that third-party publishers ask themselves before supporting Nintendo hardware.
I saw that today, but I didn't read it. But go ahead.
Okay, so I'll quickly run through this. I think some of these kind of touch on what we're getting at here. Number one, do most Nintendo fans already own a PlayStation or Xbox to play our third-party games? Number two, how large is the install base? Number three, we'll get there. Do mature rated games sell well on Nintendo hardware? This is a serious question. It has to do with fit for a game on Nintendo. Number four, do Nintendo fans care about sports games? Number five, will Nintendo spend their own money to advertise their games like Sony or Microsoft do? So this talks about the marketing partnerships. Definitely. Recognizing that is a reality, Nintendo needs to be on board for that. Number six, will Nintendo bundle our games with consoles like Sony and Microsoft do? That has to happen. We can't just have Mario bundles. We can't just have Zelda bundles. I think Ubisoft, I think you're onto something. I think Ubisoft, there is something there. Number seven.
Let's hold there for a second. So you go to a Destiny, you go to Activision, and you go, we want to have an NX that's an exclusive. Like, I bought my PlayStation 4 was an Arkham Knight PlayStation 4.
Exactly.
That's what you do. You know, why did I buy my PlayStation 4? Didn't have to do that there was games that spoke to me. I'm a huge Batman fan. When I saw that PlayStation 4, I was like, well, first off, I wanted Arkham Knight. And when they said it's only coming to PS4, Xbox One, I was like, okay, when that game finally launches, I'm buying a PS4. When I saw that one, I went and bought that one.
Yep.
And I guarantee you there was a bunch of Star Wars fans that jumped on board for the Battlefront one.
Absolutely.
That Darth Vader PS4 was amazing. So, yes, I agree, and that's something we need to do.
Here's your Skylanders console.
Yes.
With a skin on it or whatever it is.
Which they did do those. They did have them with the Wii U.
Right. Now on that last one, that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe South Park Stick of Truth.
There you go.
We talk about Ubisoft. Number seven, will I need a separate team to develop the Nintendo version of a game? Number eight, what engines and middleware does the hardware support? So now we're getting more into technical stuff.
Yeah.
So I think those brought up the points that I wanted to bring. The last thing too, how do we bring Pokemon fans back? That's another maybe consumer group that comes into this whole thing. I don't know if we're starting to like beat a dead horse now, but I've now said kind of the core group that I would bring back.
You're looking for younger because you're looking to hit them, boom, boom, adult. And see, that's what ultimately I think we're both onto something a little bit. I think we need to overall, obviously the one that we look at and we go, this is a waste of time is the casual fans.
Right. They're not loyal.
They're not loyal. They're loyal to the minute. They're loyal to the second. They're loyal to Angry Birds right now, and then they're going and they're on to Farmville next week. You know, and it's so that's not where we want to be at all. So casuals is definitely out. I don't feel like we want to be carbon copies of PlayStation or Xbox, but I feel like we need to still offer some of the same things that they're offering. Because newsflash, if we get Destiny to the NX and you don't have a cohesive voice chat system or a cohesive way to jump in and out of games with your friends, they're not coming. They're not coming to the NX. And that's what you need to do. You look at why does Sony and Xbox or Sony and Microsoft really compete for Call of Duty members or Destiny? Because it's essentially the same game on both, meaning you just got to go where your friends are.
Right.
And if you entice them with a powerful console, the ability to chat back and forth, and if I could just jump on and go, hey, I'm going to go play with Sean today, and I can go, you're in.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. You know,
the challenge that Nintendo faces is with regards to one of those questions is, do people want M-rated games on this console? So with Xbox and with PlayStation, you don't think twice about playing a game like Destiny or Call of Duty on those games because both systems have exclusive games that are in the same space. You have like a Gears of War that's that ultra-violent, adult-ready game. So like the first-party studios are putting out games that complement Call of Duty and Destiny. If all they're doing is continuing to put out, their own franchises, there's nothing that complements it. It feels I've been trying to wrap my head around, like, why does it feel so out of place for some of these games to be on a Nintendo system? And it is because Nintendo doesn't put their foot forward, but for developing those things. And I wonder if that is a fundamental piece that will keep Nintendo from succeeding in the future, of not kind of, it's almost like you need a fertile landscape for other developers to come on in. They have to have like games, similar games to complement that thing, so they don't stand out like a sore thumb.
I think that you can appease both sides. You just got to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can appease the family members, like the Nintendo dads, but you can also appease the more like mature gamers, like our friends at the Warp Whistle podcast, you know, where Colin and Mark, they're looking for the more Destiny, the more Witcher 3, those type of games, the Fallout 4s and all that. But then you have the guys from Nintendo dads that are looking for more like the Mario games and the Yoshi's Woolly World and stuff. And I feel like you can give that to people. You have to be willing to. And I feel like the way you do this is you pick 3 franchises that we own as Nintendo and go, from here on out, we're taking this to a mature game. This is going to be more...
Metroid
is number 1, without a shadow of a doubt. That game is right there on the borderline as it is. You could take it, you could easily move it up. You could reboot the series.
Why isn't Metroid right there with Halo?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's with Xbox. As soon as Halo comes out on Xbox, they can put any first-person shooter on there that any other developer would want, and it fits. Yeah. You make Metroid the first-person shooter or whatever you're going to do. You can even convert it to third-person if they want to do something different. I just think that you need to bring, or racing too. You make if F-Zero makes a comeback, then you have racing games that fit on Nintendo. But Nintendo they're so far out. They're so, like, their games are so different that anybody else who comes to it, it's just their games don't. It's not natural.
Well, here's an example. Bayonetta 2 comes, right?
Yes.
Now, I play Bayonetta 2, and as I'm playing Bayonetta 2, I read a review that Polygon does, and they're basically calling it sexist and this, that, the other. So as I'm playing the game, I'm thinking to myself, this game's not that bad. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what the hell are they talking about? And I'm playing, and I'm like, okay. And I beat the game, and I was like, okay, there's a few like things she'll say that might be a little out of line, but it's not like, I didn't find it like erotic or anything like that of that nature. Then I pop in Bayonetta 1, and I was like, whoa, okay. I can see where people are like, you know. So what I'm getting at is they never should have scrubbed Bayonetta. You know, they shouldn't have never cleaned her up a little bit. Yeah. Let Platinum give you Bayonetta 2 the way they would give you Bayonetta 2. When they do Bayonetta 3, let them go at it. That's your mature game. You know, and it's real simple. Like, you basically, so for me, I'm looking at it as Bayonetta, Metroid. I would probably, for a minute, I was saying Fire Emblem, but I think Fire Emblem needs to stay. But Fire Emblem has Fire Emblem has a little taste of both when you play it.
I'm just glad you didn't say Zelda.
No, I would never do that with Zelda. I think Zelda's just no. I think because ultimately, if you want to get like your more mature Zeldas, you get The Witcher to come over. Yeah, and in order to get The Witcher to be able to come over, you need to be able to have some Nintendo-developed games that are more mature. So I think that's why I'm saying, like, you bring Metroid, you create an F-Zero that can be mature. You know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe they get into an accident that you see the people. I don't know. I have all the answers. But you take F-Zero. Like, I think you need 3 games that are basically Nintendo properties per se. Now, I know Platinum's not a Nintendo property, but at the end of the day, Nintendo funded Bayonetta 2. It's there, and they're working very closely together now. I think that you're going to continue to see that happen. I think Bayonetta 3 is coming to the NX. That's my heart of hearts. That's what I feel. Just let them go. Let them do their thing and let it go a little edgy, you know? Don't have to be like sex or things of that nature in a Nintendo game, but you can be questionable, you can be edgy, you know, and let it go. Like, I remember being a kid and I played a game called Galago 13. I don't know if you ever played on the NES.
No.
There is sex scenes in this game. And I was like 13 years old playing this thing, and I was like, and it's not sex, like, you don't see it, but like, there's a guy and a girl, and they're talking, and she's making comments, and he's making comments, and then you see their silhouettes in the window, and they come together, and then the lights go out, and it's like, okay. You know, as a little kid, my imagination's running wild, and I'm thinking, I can see what they're doing. I could, you know, in my mind's eye, you know, so.
Yeah, they're playing with their Transformers.
Yeah, exactly. So my mindset is like, if you did that with the NES, I'm not saying you need to do full scale, but you can let people's minds run a little bit. I don't feel like Zelda is a game you do that with. I don't feel like Mario is a game you do that with. I don't feel like Yoshi or any of that. Like, you keep them there because we are going to, I feel like in order for this to work, you need to not split your franchises, but you need to take a couple of your franchises, go mature, keep the rest where they are, because we're going to hit them both sides. Like you're saying, you want to go with the parents and the kids, bring them in. What I'm saying, the 25 to 35-year-olds. And the only way you get the 25 to 35-year-olds back is if you offer them a lot of the same stuff that with the Nintendo twist to the Sony and the Xbox, that you bring them in, but you have to have mature. How does mature work? You have to have mature Nintendo titles. Because I feel like if you have those mature Nintendo titles, you'll start to bring them back. If you put out a first-person shooter Metroid game that's a little bit edgier, and when I say edgy, it doesn't need to be sexual, none of that, but you can have, like, seeing blood. Like, look at Tomb Raider. Like, when Lara Croft dies. You know, it's a little grotesque. You know, it's a little hard to watch at times. You know, so there's nothing wrong with doing that with Samus. Like, you know, like, if she gets attacked by a monster and she's about to die, like, you see maybe a little bit of gore to it or whatever. Like, look at Last of Us. It's not a gory game per se, but when you get attacked and you're dying, like, you see something that's like, oh, that's brutal, you know?
Yeah, you need to elicit some sort of response with these games. It's something a little bit more visceral for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed your 3DS lately, all I'm playing is role-playing games on this thing.
That's pretty much
another space.
Yeah. Where I'm
at. I mean, open world RPGs are going to happen. That seems to be like a 2015, 2016 thing. But Super Nintendo and my 3DS, like the land of role-playing games.
Yep.
Bring it back. Own that space. I know Sega and Atlas just did a weird kind of split thing, but it would be great to have Atlas in the back pocket of Nintendo.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, or Squaresoft with Final Fantasy. Like, bring Final Fantasy back. Some of these things literally bring the titles, the properties, and the people who love those properties back. Yeah. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where Nintendo kind of started to lose, was when they lost Final Fantasy and they lost Squaresoft. I feel like that's where it started pushing people to Sony. Full disclosure, that's the only reason I bought a PlayStation 1 was because Final Fantasy was going over there. And I love Final Fantasy 3/6, depending on where you played it. And so when they said Final Fantasy 7 is going to the PlayStation, I was like, I'm a huge Final Fantasy game. I got to have it. And I bought it. And it had no other reason than that. You know, so, you know, now that we're thinking, I feel like there's a franchise that's mature, that is ripe for the picking. And I feel like that if Nintendo had it and they let it stay where it was, maybe even bring the person that did the game in to oversee it a little bit, and that's Metal Gear.
Oh, no, because it's Konami. Get away from that.
No. I'm saying buy the franchise. Because I think
in the yard sale. I love it. Okay, yes. Now I'm back on. Okay.
I'm saying
be the savior of Metal Gear. Oh my God.
I would go to Konami and I would say
buy it all.
We're gonna buy
Castlevania,
all that stuff. We want it all. We'll give it. We'll just. What do you want for it? You want $1 billion? Here you go. Because with $1 billion, I feel like if they put out a solid Metal Gear game, because that then becomes an exclusive, that if all those Metal Gear fans that are big diehard fans want a new Metal Gear game, you can only play it here. And by the way,
I need to change your pants. I'm done.
By the way, we're friends with Kojima, and we're gonna bring him in just to be like the godfather.
Well, we can't do that. Sony's got him. Did you see the way Andrew House looks at Kojima? He's in love with this guy. But we'll keep it in reality. That is realistic. I really like that.
I think Konami's the way to go. I think Konami could
save those franchises. Yeah. They're not going anywhere with Konami.
No, they're
Nintendo
done.
could. Oh my God, that would just be so easy.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a no-brainer. So there we are. I don't know how. I know we're all over the place with that topic, and I hope that you guys understand where we're going. Recap: Sean's basically saying, "I want to go after the parents."
It doesn't sound nearly as good as your last thing.
Well, I'm just saying, Sean wants to go after the parents and the kids. You know, a twofold plan. Get them while they're young.
Toys to life.
Yeah, Toys to Life and all that. Get some exclusive content in the Toys to Life in the other fields. Kind of like they did with Skylanders, but I'd go harder after it than they did with Skylanders. And then I'm basically saying, like, we want the 25 to 35-year-olds, and how you do that is you kind of bring a mixture of what Sony and Xbox, Microsoft are doing, put your little Nintendo magic to it, and then go after Konami and get them franchises, and then and we're both, I think, under agreement that we need to take 2 to 3 of our current franchises, spin them to a mature feel. This way, people stop looking at Nintendo as just kiddie friendly. Like they go, hey, that Metroid Prime, or whatever we name it. It doesn't have to be Metroid Prime, but whatever that new Metroid series is, that's legit, and that's where we want to be. So, how you feeling?
Feel sweaty. That feels great. I think the next Metroid game needs to have Samus in the title.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that'd be good. That would work. But
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Nintendo needs to listen to what we're saying here. We need to get back to people. If the Nintendo doesn't listen to anything else I said, which they won't, and they're not going to listen to anything we say, but buying Konami would be huge. Huge. And to own all those franchises.
Circle like vultures, waiting for Konami to die, and then just swoop in.
It's close.
That's huge. I really like that. Yeah, all right.
That'd be awesome. So,
pat yourself on the back. That's a good one. Good episode.
Thank you. I hope everybody else agrees. What would you guys do? This is huge. Would you let's answer Billy's question in the comments below. What's the market share you're going after, and how do you accomplish it? Let us know. I think it's a good question, and I think it's a serious question that needs to be addressed, and I think we tried our best to address it, and maybe we'll come back to it in a future episode. Who knows? But so that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes. Thank you, SoundCloud, for messing us up last week. That was lovely of you. iTunes, SoundCloud, and for watching us on the YouTube channel, if that's how you're digesting this information and all that stuff. What are you doing? You're your 3DS.
Oh, don't bother. Don't worry about me.
You're here playing. You're here with your 3DS every
6
week.
Hours into Bravely Second.
So you can follow Sean.
Sean Capri. That's Sean like Connery. Capri like the pants.
Yes. You can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Cub Scout.
ABC you later!